Giants once roamed the foothills of the Shangquang Plateau in Laos. Their renowned king, Kunjuam, built a plain of massive stone jars to commemorate his victory over mortal opponent Chao Anka in a fierce fight. In these jars, he stored rice wine for the festivities, or so the legend says. Yes, the Plain of Jars is a distinctive megalithic site. Its origin and function remain a mystery. Archaeologists and historians have been enthralled by the finding of ancient megalithic jars in various locations of Southeast Asia in recent years. These mysterious stone buildings, which may be seen in India, Laos, and Indonesia, have given rise to many ideas about their uses and origins. One of the most intriguing hypotheses suggests that these jars were linked to a race of giants that once roamed these regions. So let's begin today's video. Overview. A forest of enigmatic massive stone jars dating back thousands of years has been uncovered in India. However, it is unknown who made them, what they were used for, and why they were buried. In 2020, researchers from the Australian National University discovered the monolithic site in Dima Hasao province, Assam, India, while conducting a regional survey. Strange buried limestone jars were discovered in Assam in the early 1900s, but they were not properly documented until the mid-2010s, according to a study published in the journal Asian Archaeology. The crew discovered 4 megalithic jar sites during the 2020 survey. They were planning to investigate the known jar sites in Assam, but as they explored the deep forest, they discovered more and more of these unusual limestone jars. Ancient giant stone jars have previously been found in other countries, including Indonesia and Laos. The jars. There are around 90 sites and 2,000 jars of varying sizes and ages. Each site comprises about 400 jars, which range in height from 1 to 3 meters and width from 1 meter. They weigh up to 14 tons. Some jars are formed of a single variety of stones, whereas others are built of 5 different types. The stones also contain minuscule bits of animals. Some of the jars date to as early as 660 BC, and accompanying artifacts date to the 8th century AD. Historians have been puzzled by the age disparity. The jars are not the only thing of interest on the plain. Researchers discovered enormous stone discs, burial markers, human remains, and metal items including axes, beads, and glass. The stones most likely had lids at some point, but who placed them there? Yes, even there are no signs that people lived here. Purpose and theories. Madeleine Colani, a French archaeologist, conducted the first major archaeological survey of the Plain of Jars in 1930. She discovered a profusion of items, ranging from unusual organic materials to human bones. She speculated that the location was a large burial cemetery or cremation. There is substantial evidence to back up Colani's theory. The much larger jars were likely used as crematoriums because of the presence of burnt human remains and charcoal. This could be related to ancient Laotian and Cambodian traditions in which the bodies of elite members of society were put in enormous urns to facilitate the soul's journey through death. According to ancient origins, the majority of the human remains were from females and children. The rock used to create the jars appears to have come from a quarry located over 100 kilometers away. This indicates that the jars were carved and transported to the site. This is an ordinary characteristic of megalithic and Neolithic stone structures throughout the world. This might also suggest that the builders could have traveled on pilgrimages to the area to bury their dead or worship their ancestors. Other experts speculate that the jars could have been kilns, distilling apparatuses, or food-gathering containers. In 1994, a team claimed that the site could have been symbolic, with no practical purpose. There is some evidence that the area was part of a larger trading network. Other comparable sites can be discovered in India and Vietnam. The Shangquang Plateau area of Laos is rich in salt, which may have been the primary trade. If the trade route theory is right, the jars could have contained goods. Or maybe the Plain of Jars served multiple purposes. It is not uncommon for buildings from this era to serve many functions. For example, a temple, burial site, and gathering space rolled into one. Jars and bombs. If you want to visit the Plain of Jars, go with caution. During the Vietnam War, also known as the American War by the Vietnamese, the United States dropped almost 2.5 million tons of explosives on Laos. The area around the Plain of Jars could house thousands of undetonated bombs. Yes, I'm not joking. Unexploded bombs continue to harm individuals each and every year. More than 1,000 people were killed or injured in Laos between 2008 when the Laos government first began compiling data, and 2022. As a result, when visiting the Plain of Jars, you should only go in approved areas and along marked routes. For some, the Plain of Jars has come to symbolize disaster and political strife. In Fred Branfman's Voices from the Plain of Jars, a villager explains, "No people had ever escaped the fate of the Plain of Jars. It had risen, died, and been reborn again. None escaped such cycles, perhaps not even those who destroyed the plain and did not care to remember, let alone do anything about it. A law of life beyond human purpose or understanding, so deeply lawful, so deeply comforting, so deeply peaceful." Finally, despite their mysterious origins, these megalithic jars provide unique insights into ancient Southeast Asian cultural practices and beliefs. They highlight a shared tradition across different regions and underscore the ingenuity and resourcefulness of our ancestors. As archaeological techniques improve and new finds are unearthed, we may one day learn the complete tale behind these mysterious stone jars. Until then, they will be a tribute to human innovation and a constant source of fascination for those who want to understand our past.